Hey everybody, what's up? This is Tim Hart, branch manager of Van Dyke Mortgage. Welcome to an episode of the Heartbeat for Realtors. We got a cool event coming up. This is not going to be our normal informational type podcast or video. So we are sponsoring an event coming up, and I have the trainer with me today, Marcie Roggow. Marcie, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. So this class that we're going to be sponsoring, Van Dyke Mortgage, the title of it, okay, is Understanding, I'm reading it just so everyone knows, Understanding Procuring Cause, Whose Commission Is It Anyway? Right?
Correct.
Yeah. So before we get into what the class is about, just so people watching and listening know, one, this is going to be free to the agents, okay? Lunch will be provided by your boy here, Tim, and Van Dyke Mortgage. And it's going to be in Cape Coral at the RE/MAX Realty team office. It's a no recruit zone. I did air quotes if you're listening to this on the podcast. And it's free to you. And correct me if I'm wrong, Marcie, they get 3 hours of continuing ed, correct?
3 hours, that's correct.
3 hours. Awesome. Cool. So I'll put all the details of the event inside the post so everyone will know where to go. But Marcie, if you don't mind, I would like to be able to get into what is this class about? So you want to kind of take it away from there?
Sure. Well, all the agents understand what procuring cause is. People disputing whose commission, who was the buyer's agent, who was the person who sold the house, and who gets the money. And what we found over the years, and I've been teaching procuring cause for over 25 years now, is that people still have all these old myths about how do you determine who gets paid. So one of the myths is the person who showed the house is the person who's the procuring cause, which is as far away from the truth as can possibly be. The next myth is the person who wrote the offer obviously should be the procuring cause because after all, they wrote the offer. And that's not true. The third one is the person who has the buyer agency contract signed, they're probably the person who gets the money. And that's definitely not true, especially in Florida, because not very many of the agents even use an exclusive buyer rep agreement down here, whether it be transaction broker or single agent. And so we have all these problems that arise because of the fact mostly that the buyers in Florida work with a lot of different real estate agents because agents don't get exclusive contracts signed. If somebody comes to my open house, and it's good for people to know that I am a realtor, have been a realtor for 46 years, and I sit on professional standards committees, I do arbitrations, I do mediations. So it's not just somebody who's decided to seek procuring cause. I think that's really important for them to know. So as a realtor, I have people coming to my open house. Last Sunday, somebody came in, spent an hour and a half there, said, I think we'll take it, got to go home and talk about it, need to know what our house is worth. And so I sent them all the stuff. If you know what, if they show up with another agent with an offer, an open house is not procuring cause, even though I spent an hour and a half with them. So they may have lied to me and said they weren't working with another agent. And they could be out looking at lots of different houses with that agent. And that agent brought me the offer. So we have to figure out how that other agent got involved and what the situation was. But oftentimes people just believe, well, they came to my open house, they were there for an hour and a half, I spent all the time, I got them all the information. That other offer is not valid. And that's not true. So what we're going to do in the class is we're going to talk about those myths and why they are myths and what happened. You know, where did that lack of knowledge come from? Then we're going to talk about how to train the buyers and how to do risk management by keeping better details on what you're doing with the agents that or the buyers that you're working with. And then we're going to talk about whether when you get into those situations, how you determine if there is a conflict, and if there is, how are you going to resolve it? And are you going to go through mediation first, which is mandatory in the boards, or are you going to go see an attorney? What are you going to do? And Article 17 of the Code of Ethics says you've got to mediate and arbitrate instead of going to attorneys. So we're going to talk a lot about how the Code of Ethics comes into play how buyer representation, whether it be transaction broker or single agency, comes into play, and then how you can determine what may have gone wrong and how that second agent got involved. But the most important thing about procuring cause, and I'm just working on this big case up north right now, is if you weren't offered compensation, if it wasn't in the MLS and you weren't offered compensation, even though you had buyer rep agreement representing that buyer, there is no procuring cause. You're not a procuring cause. You have to have been offered compensation through the MLS or otherwise for you to even try to attempt to get paid.
Ooh, that's a lot of stuff in 3 hours. Sounds action-packed.
It is action-packed. And everybody comes with a scenario that this happened to me, what do you think? And a lot of those scenarios are new home builds. You know, they say, oh, I had the buyer for 2 weeks, and then they ran off to a new home build and I lost him. So we're going to talk about whose fault was that? You know, if you can't keep control of your buyer, whose fault is that? And then maybe how to work with that new home builder and get things squared around.
Yeah, because that's the one, you know, as you're talking about those examples and everything that's going to happen, you know, I'm in the mortgage business, so it's kind of like we see some of these that are like, yeah, hey, so, you know, so-and-so referred you to me, but I'm actually going to use over here, and we get in a little bit of a weird spot at that point. But the one thing I've seen happen a lot is the buyer's agent, you know, the buyer just walks into whatever, Adams Homes or, you know, just any kind of builder that Saturday and fall in love with the house and write a contract, and they just never tell the other agent. So you're going to cover that part as well?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Awesome. So that we're doing all this for free, right? To the agent.
They should be really grateful for you for that. People paid big bucks for this class.
See, guys, big bucks, man, bringing the value to you. Right. Plus lunch.
Plus lunch.
Yeah, I haven't decided what kind of lunch. I usually leave it up to some of the people I know that are going, and we figure it out from there. They try to get me for like lobster and steak, but we don't want to, you know, do something a little easier.
Well, there's a lobster truck down here at the park.
No. Don't give me any ideas. Don't give me any ideas.
All right.
All right. So cool. So anything else you want the agents to know about this event?
I think that they should come prepared to learn a lot. And we always, you know, we'll talk about their specific issue, but we're not there to try cases. I think that that's really important to understand. Don't show up thinking, okay, I've got this issue and we're going to solve it. So always help you to talk to people afterwards, but we don't always want to share a lot of personal awfulness in the classroom.
Yeah, especially respecting everyone else's time too. Yep, no
Right.
doubt. Well, guys, again, so this event, July 17th, I'll put the details in the comment sections. From noon to 3, it's at Remax Realty Team, which is over on Del Prado. It's in their big conference room area they have there. It's a no recruit zone. Free to you. Lunch will be provided. 3 hours of continuing education credit to you. And you're going to have to, I'll put the RSVP in there as well. Make sure you RSVP to Lorena. And I'll put her email address and phone number in the comments for anyone that wants to go. So again, Marcie, I look forward to sitting there for 3 hours and learning from you and watching you do your thing, okay?
I'll enjoy it. It was supposed to be on the 18th, but that's my birthday, so we changed it to the 17th. So
Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Now we're going to have to bring you some birthday cake. We're bringing birthday cake.
We're going to have to do something.
All right, cool. Well, we'll see you then. You guys got any questions, concerns, give me a shout. Happy to help you. 239-437-4278. Hope to see you guys there. It's probably going to be limited space, so RSVP early. Thanks, everybody. Marcie, thank you. See you on the 17th.
Looking forward to it. Thank you for sponsoring it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks.